In the first video of this series, we created a few embeddings using the Mistral Python SDK, and today we make the process much more efficient by adding a vector database from ChromaDB. So the first step for you would be to install the ChromaDB library, and then we can move on to creating a client. The main benefits of using a vector database instead of a plain Python list as we did in the first video or a classic database is that this type of database is really optimized for high-dimensional vectors. You may remember that for the Mistral Embed model, we've got up to 1024 dimensions in each vector. So we really need a database which is specialized in working with that type of object and that can perform calculations very efficiently on them. It will also automate the creation of the embeddings when we upload the documents, but also when we perform similarity search, it will automatically embed our text to compare the documents against. And finally, linked to that, it also performs this similarity search for us. We provide some text to be compared against the documents, and it will calculate the distance between the vector of this text and the vectors of all the documents and retrieve the most similars. You've got two options for your client from the ChromaDB library. The first one is an in-memory database, so the data will only persist as long as your notebook session is still active. And the second option is the persistent client. You pass a path and the data will persist on your drive. I will use the first option for simplicity in this notebook. The second step is to create an embedding function that we can pass to ChromaDB. So each time we upload a document or we ask for similarity search, it can use this function to embed our documents. There are a few functions which are already provided by ChromaDB, and you can find them here from chromadb.utils.embeddingfunctions. And there is one, for example, for Mistral. However, this function is not compatible with the latest Python SDK, so we will need to use the manual option. I added here the link with the code sample from their documentation. So if you click here, you can copy this function, and we just need to adjust a few things like here to include our own embedding function. I added what we did in the previous video exactly at the position where they suggest that you need to include your embedding function. So I'm using a Mistral client.embeddings.create, and I passed a model and the different inputs for which I want to get the embeddings. And finally, I'm also using the list comprehension we created in the previous video. So I return the list of all the embeddings that have been returned by Mistral. You notice here that I didn't hard code Mistral Embed, and the reason is that they save actually the name of the model directly in the instance of the class with self.model. So I'm reusing that instead of hard coding within here. The only thing I changed in the initialization is that for the model, I added this default value. So if I instantiate my class, my embedding function, and I don't pass a model name, it will automatically use Mistral Embed. And I also save directly within the class the Mistral client, so then I can easily reuse it within the call method. Apart from that, I kept exactly the code which they provided. And I will test it by just creating an instance of this class without any parameters, so it will use the default model. And after that, I'm passing two pieces of text just to see if I get some embeddings in return. I can see two embeddings created, so I can confirm that the embedding function is working properly, and now we can create a collection. For a vector database, a collection is similar to a database table. I'm using my ChromaDB client, and I use the get or create collection method to create a new collection. I pass a name. I chose regulations because I will upload some documents about some company regulations. And you can also pass your embedding function. So then it can reuse this function whenever you upload some documents or you perform similarity search to embed your documents. So let's create a few documents. And for that, I've asked a large language model to create some for me. So I wanted something which is company related. And we ended up creating some documents about different functions in a company like HR, finance, IT, and so on. And each document is a regulation for this specific department. For example, within HR, you will find some regulations about the paid time off, about the parental leaves, and so on. In finance will be some regulations about expense reports, and so on. I've got a list with 20 documents here, and I've saved all the documents within a list, which I decided to call documents. You need to create a second list that will contain all the IDs for these documents in the same order as you provided the documents. So here, for example, HR, underscore PTO will be the ID which I assign to the first document, that one, which is about PTO, paid time off indeed. So just make sure that you've got two lists with the exact same number of items. It's very important when you want to upload these documents to the collection. And optionally, you can also add some metadata to your documents in the form of Python dictionaries. And for each document, you provide this dictionary that has some different key value pairs. What's very useful about adding some metadata is that you can filter the documents based on these values. So you don't need to perform the similarity search on your entire collection every single time you need to search something, but you could restrict it to specific departments, version numbers, confidentiality levels, and so on. So once you've got the three lists created, or two, as the metadata are not mandatory, you can just reuse your collection, use the add method, and then pass this list. After that, I'm just having a quick check that I've got 20 documents in my collection, as this is what I expect, and we can confirm that the process worked correctly. If you want a quick overview of how the documents look like within the collection, you can use the pick method and pass a limit, in that case, to see two documents. And here you go, you can see the IDs, embeddings, documents that are returned, but we'll check this in much more details when we query the collection. You've got an option to use the get method here to retrieve some documents based on their IDs. So it's very simple. You use collection and the get method, and then you can pass a list of IDs and it will return these specific documents. So here there is no similarity search yet. It's just in case you already know the IDs that you need to work with, you can use this get method to get the documents. And here we can see that these two documents are retrieved because we can see their IDs here, and then there is a list with two documents and their related parameters. It's much more interesting for us to query the collection because we can perform the similarity search and also add the filters on the metadata. I've just started by creating a small function to display nicely the results from ChromaDB, but we don't need to go through the details. It's just that I didn't want to type this code every single time we try a new example. Let's start with a simple semantic search. In that case, I'm using the collection and the query method, and I can pass some query text. This is an array with different pieces of text that I want to perform the similarity search against the documents in my collection. I'm providing just a single piece of text because I just want to check something about parental leave. Notice here I'm not using the exact same words as in the document, not parental leave, but baby is a similar word. And this is the main benefit of using a vector database, is that you don't need to do an exact search. You can also do it based on the semantic of your documents. So I'm passing here the query that I want to perform this semantic search against. And here I'm also adding the number of documents that I want to be returned. So I just want the most similar. That's why I'm passing end results equal 1. We can see here that the most similar document has the ID HR parental, and the document is about the parental leave policy. So we can see that it retrieved exactly what we were looking for. If you want to extract specific parts within this response, you can take your result variable and then just query the different keys like documents, metadata, IDs, distances, and then you need to pass a list of different indices. The first one is your query text. In that case, we provided only one query text, so we will always use the index 0, but you can pass more than one. And the second index will be for the documents that are returned by ChromaDB. And as we asked only the most similar one, we also know that we will get only one document in return, so I always access the first index, so index 0. And here, this is how we get specifically the document, the metadata, the ID of this document, and finally the distance. So exactly the same as before, but here this is when you want some specific parts instead of the full response. And a bit more explanation about these indices that we have just seen. Let's have actually an example. N equals 3, so I want the 3 most similar documents, but I will ask a single question. In that case, when I loop through these 3 results, I know that when I want to extract the IDs and the documents from my response, first of all, I will always access the index 0, because this is the index of my question and there is a single one. But after that, I will need to use the index within my loop to display the different documents. And we see here first document ID, second document ID, third document ID, and then the documents themselves. Let's move on to simple metadata filtering. As we said, you don't always want to perform the similarity search on your entire collection. You may want to restrict to some specific metadata. In that case, you will need to use the where argument here and use this type of a structure to add your exact parameters. So this is a dictionary. The key will be the field that you want to add a filter on, and then this will be the value that you want to set. So I'm asking a question here, how do I get paid back for buying things? I want the two most similar results, but I only want to check within the department finance. So remember that department was one of the key for our metadatas. So here it will return only the two most similars within the finance documents. I will start choosing my function to display nicely the results, so we don't need to create a loop every single time. We can see that the first match here has a distance of 0.71, but let's check within the metadatas. The department is finance, so this is correct, and something about external vendors and procurement processes. And the second document has actually the same distance. It is still about finance and something about corporate credit card policy. So two documents which are very similar to the question we asked. So here it was in case we wanted to perform an exact search on the metadatas, but often you will want to use some operator. So it can be that you want to check something which is not equal to, lower than, greater than, and so on, not only an exact equality. In that case, instead of providing just a string for the value in your dictionary, you need to pass a second dictionary where the key is the operator that you want to use and the value is your exact condition. So let's have an example. It will be a bit more telling. I'm still using the query method and I'm passing here my question. So what are the guidelines for writing code? An IT question. I want just the most similar, and I want to check only some recent version of this document. So here I'm passing first the field that I'm interested in, as we did previously, but instead of passing an exact value, I'm adding a second dictionary, and first of all, I'm telling what is the operator that I'm interested in, GTE for greater than or equal to, and specifically I want something which is greater than or equal to version 2.0. Let's display it, and we can see that the most similar document that it could find does not have a very great distance. However, this is the one which is matching our criteria because the version is 2.2. We can also complexify the process by adding and or operators, so you don't need to provide a single condition on your metadata filters. In that case, you will use and or operator, and this will be an array of your different conditions. So we have already done this type of dictionaries, this one or this one, but additionally, we need to add and or and then to pass the list. Let's have a look at an example. For my collection here, the query, so I'm asking the question, what is our policy on sharing secrets or password? I want the two most similars, and within where, I've got as usual a dictionary, but I will start with an AND operator, and as I'm using AND, I need to follow with a list of different conditions. My first condition will be a simple one, an exact search on the field, so status should be active. And the second condition I'm passing here is with an operator, so we've got a mix of both possibilities. And I also want that the confidentiality field is not equal to public. So the first document has a status active as we wanted, and the confidentiality is restricted, so this is not equal to public. That's correct. The second one also does not have the public confidentiality, it's internal, and what else we wanted to check, the status is active, and this is also the case here. If you want to use the OR operator, the syntax is exactly the same. You start with this operator followed by a list, and then you can pass your different conditions within this list. So here we want that the department is legal or marketing. And let's have a look. Department is marketing here, and for the second document it's legal. So it really applies the conditions that we wanted. Actually, the previous example, we could have done something easier. So if you don't want to repeat several times, the department should be equal to a specific value, like here within OR. So you need to repeat your field several times. You can use the in operator. Or if you want the exact opposite, you can use an in, which is not in. In that case, you provide just the department field a single time, but then the condition that you write here, you use the in operator and you can pass a list of all the values you want to be included. And we've got exactly the same results as before. And finally, you can also perform the full text search, which means that this time we are not interested in the metadatas, but we are interested in some specific words that should be contained within the documents which are retrieved. We'll use the where argument instead of where, and we can use the contains operator to specify the words that should be within the documents that are being retrieved. I will still perform some similarity search. So my query text, my question is, what are the financial rules? Here I want specifically each document to be returned to contain this euro currency. And let's have a look at the document text exactly. So here we can see 10,000 euros. So it contains EUR indeed. And for the second document, we can see here there is a value of 50 euros. So it respected our condition once again that the document to be returned had to contain this exact word. This is everything I wanted to show you for this short introduction to ChromaDB. In the next video, we are going to implement an end-to-end project in which we use OCR to get some text from documents. After that, we will save this text in the ChromaDB database, perform similarity search on some corporate documents. So I will see you in the next video. Bye-bye.